what do you think when I use the word social detachment? What about political apathy? On paper, they're both the same, pretty much, they're both the same thing. But when we use these two different phrases, we have an entirely different image. For example, a politician, they're masters at semantics. They know how to use words to their advantage. Instead of using a phrase like tax increase, they'll say revenue enhancement. And that could be the difference between getting the support of the public or just this powerful opposition. And why is that? Now, let's break that down. Just like tax increase. All right. So taxes, that's very personalized. We see that every day. When we go to the store and buy food, clothes, shoes, when we go to the gas station, we see the word tax. Okay, that's more money out of my pocket. So when we think tax increase, we usually don't really like that. There better be a really good reason to hear those words, and usually we don't really get that. But when we hear revenue enhancement, we're detached from that word. When we think of revenue, we think of some outside source, some other business or something like that. Someone else is going to pay for this. Okay. So all of a sudden we're more supportive to this as opposed to tax increases. So a politician very, very knowingly uses, they're very good with their words, and they know how to manipulate to a certain extent people's feelings. So this again has more effect than we know. So on one hand, it can affect how we communicate with one another, how sometimes we could be saying the same exact thing but just still get an argument just because we're using different words. I guess an example could be someone can be very opposed to the word capitalism. When we hear capitalism, we think of, we have these bad imprints in our mind. We think of Scrooge, we think of bankers, we think of monopolies. But if we were just to use a different word, if we were just to use free market, all of a sudden, we have this different image. Capitalism, we're detached from that word. When we think of Scrooge, bankers, monopolies, those are other people. Those are the bad guys. They're not the good guys. They're not me. When we think of free markets, again, it's more personalized. Freedom, that's it's personalized to us. That's me, the infallible human being. I never make a mistake. It's always someone else. It's never my own wrongdoing. It's always someone else is making the world a bad place, never me. So when we think of freedom, we think of that good. Think of something good. Our freedom to choose. Markets, we think of buying stuff, and we like to buy things. We like to buy food. We like to buy our clothes, or our shoes, or our electronics, our services, or whatever, right? So again, this is freedom to choose. So free markets in our minds is a good thing. When we think capitalism, it's a bad thing. They mean the same exact thing. Well, depending who you ask, kind of, because again, the word it's been tainted. It's been transformed into what used to mean corporatism. These corporations in cahoots with government. So over time, this word has evolved into this an entirely different, almost the complete opposite, really. It's a real 180. So it's just this choice of words, this simple choice of words, affect a person's argument. So when you hear about Republicans or libertarians, objectivists, or what have you, defending capitalism, to an opposing group, right? They're setting themselves up for failure, because there's no way you could convince a liberal or a Marxist or whatever, uh, towards the idea of capitalism. You know, there's no way. There's no way. They already have this imprint of what that word means, and it's really hard to change someone's viewpoint. Or in general, it's really hard to change people's viewpoints. Um, you can open people's eyes to certain things. I guess you can open people's eyes to the notion that words can mean different things to different peoples. So I am here trying really hard to best phrase my word. Just to choose the best words to get that point across. Because it really does affect us in more ways than we know. So it can be. How many times have we had an argument with someone we love, someone we care about, for stupid reasons? Why the fuck are we fighting? Like, it's really just we're choosing the wrong words, or we're assuming we have these preconceptions of what these words mean, and it can mean something entirely different to the person, to the other person, and we can get angry, we can get upset, and we can say things we don't mean in the heat of the moment. And actions have consequences, so you know what I mean. Like it could just, you can see how this can go wrong. In a grander scale, governments can say the wrong thing. We can misinterpret certain phrases, and that can be the difference between war. That can be the difference between someone being alive and well, it's really important to use words in a way that's clear, in a way that is, I guess just like that, in a way that's clear.